We have a few minutes before starting. So welcome those who've already come. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, that's very good. I'm gonna it's,
This is in your way.
yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to start the actual meditation till it's actually starting time, which is in about 2 minutes, but you can start getting yourselves into a position, just adjusting your cushions, your body, your chair, whatever it is that you're giving you support. And also, I can't see everyone, and that's fine, but if anyone has, physical problems and they need to be lying down, then that's perfectly well too. It's a different skill if you need to lay down to meditate. And it is actually something one should learn how to do, because there are times in our lives when sitting up is not the most possible or easeful or supportive thing to do. So if a person needs to lay down for meditation or chooses to lay down for meditation, then finding a way to differentiate that from your normal going to sleep posture. I know people with back problems, often they'll be on their back. And one meditation Dhamma teacher said that she put one of her arms up when she was laying on her back, and if she started getting drowsy, it would fall over. And when I had some serious back problems, I was laying on my back with my knees bent, knees up, and I had a little support on the side so they wouldn't flop completely over, which would be harmful. But they weren't completely supported. So if I started getting drowsy, they would move one way or another, and that would cue me to that I was starting to get drowsy. Also, both in the sitting posture and in the any posture you're taking, the mind can get dull, and heading towards sleep. And it's really good to be aware of that, and really bringing the awareness to the fact that the mind is getting dull, and learning how to correct that for yourself, how to brighten the mind. And it's often you've wandered off your object of meditation and just kind of getting spacey. So really getting the establishment of the attention on the object again, like if you're breathing. And some people suggest, even if the object is the breath, to even take about 3 deep breaths, really to reaffirm that connection with the attention to the breath. Bhante Sujato, in his course on Metta Bhavana, said that you could use or it may have been something else, but he said if you are using a phrase for metta, you kind of internally say it louder to yourself if the mind is starting to get foggy. For me, I just start also starting back at the beginning of you're doing body scanning and then shifting to the breath, and the breath is too difficult to hold on to because of spaciness. What I usually do is I just go back to the beginning of the scanning, and which I will start sharing soon. I think now it's 9 o'clock. Welcome to everyone, and it's wonderful that we are all aware of the daylight savings change. So we all made it in time. So as I said, oopsie, that was the bell. I need to adjust a little bit, but just kind of get right now, just kind of give yourself a moment just to really make sure you're in a good position and that you can sustain that position for about 40 minutes. And just the back is properly aligned. We say straight, but there's actually natural curve, inward curve at the low back, and a very slight curve at the upper back. So just like it's actually kind of extending the back a little bit, and making sure that there's that proper alignment so that one isn't slouching. It's in a very alert posture if you're sitting. And having your arms and hands well supported is good. They can be on your lap, on your thighs. If you sit with the hands in this is sometimes called the cosmic mudra, but with the fingers overlapping and the thumbs touching. It's good to have, if you don't sit in half or full lotus, the hands will naturally drift downward with gravity. So some people put a little fold of cloth, or sometimes I even take my robe and fold it a little bit, and it gives a little, so that there's a little bit of resistance to gravity there. Or some people have a very small, like you have a small piece of folded cloth or a small cushion or something to keep the hands supported. Or if you have a warm blanket, that works really well too. So just this feeling of being supported, the body being alert and relaxed. So this is the posture of the body and the mind, to be alert and relaxed. Getting a general feeling of the body. And feel that in the touch of the air temperature, the touch of the clothing, what it's like to be in this present moment, this body. Then starting with whatever is supporting you, feeling that downward pressure of the body against that support. If you're sitting cross-legged, the legs and the buttocks pressed against the cushion or the chair. The buttocks on the chair, and the feet on the floor, whatever contact being made that's supporting you. Getting a really good sense of that support. This really sense of gravity. The lightness of the cloth against the skin and the heaviness of the body pressing against the cushion or the chair. And then bringing the attention to the feet. And gradually bringing the awareness, kind and gentle awareness upwards over the legs, the thighs, up to the buttocks. I'm just inviting any areas of the body as you scan to relax. If you're feeling any tension or any discomfort, just bringing some compassion to what's going on in the body. And upwards to the hips. The abdomen. You feel the expanding and contracting of actually the abdomen being pushed out by the expansion of the lungs. The gentle rhythm of the breath, just how it is. You might feel that expanding and contraction of the sides of the body. Allowing it to be as it naturally is. The breath entering the lungs and expanding the chest. Might even feel the gentle uplift of the ribs. So the shoulder blades, back. This dynamic process of the body. Body knows what to do. We're just paying attention to what's happening. And upwards to the shoulders. Really inviting those shoulders to relax. Then allowing the awareness to drift downwards over the arms. And feeling the weight of the arms on the thighs. Or whatever's supporting them. hands, the fingers all the way down to the tips of the fingers. Hands at rest. As you're doing this, you might notice areas in your body that that tense up when thoughts come into mind. Maybe it's the hands or the shoulders or the abdomen. And you can go to those areas and just really invite them to relax. This relaxes the mind as well. Letting go. And bringing the awareness upwards again, over the arms, the shoulders, the neck, the back of the head, all the way up to the top of the head. And then allowing the awareness to drift downwards over the forehead, around the eyes, and feeling the eyes in the sockets. And the jaws, not too tight, not too loose. Feeling the touch of the teeth, upper teeth and lower teeth. Just making contact without a lot of pressure. And the tongue at rest, filling up the mouth, inside of the mouth. And the lips lightly touching one another. And if you're feeling peaceful, you might even feel a smile. And that's wonderful. And I feel the breath as it enters the nostrils. Touch of breath. Feeling the expanding and contracting again of the chest and abdomen, wherever you feel the breath. Really, I would say could be precisely or distinctly. You feel ready to bring the awareness to the breath. The the mind is really active and can't stay with that, you can continue with the scanning. As I said earlier, you're starting to feel dull or drowsy. Maybe the expanding and contracting of the abdomen is a better location for the awareness. Whatever feels most supportive right now for awareness, the continuity of awareness and staying with the object, the brightness of mind, easefulness of mind, just wisely attending. What is needed now? And then make a wise decision, a choice to direct your mind to that. Either the breath at the abdomen or then at the nasal passages, where it can be felt distinctly. Or you can continue scanning. And it's a natural for the mind to bring up thoughts. Just treat them with kindness and let them pass. And very gently bringing the awareness back to the object. With wise attention and kindness. And we'll continue in silence for another 20 minutes. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I don't know if you all heard the bell or not. Um, so what we're developing here is a skill of letting go. And this letting go comes from our own direct observation. And that's also we're developing wisdom through our own direct observation of our experience, of the body and the mind. And we can, it's best if we're looking at the teachings of the Buddha as well as sitting on the cushion and looking and watching the body and the mind, because this helps us. He's done all the work for us, all this wonderful teaching that's available to us. So this is part of the practice. It's a very important, essential part of the practice. But yeah, so the cushion, or however we're applying our minds to meditation, whatever posture we're in, is one part. It's our job. It's our work. It's our job. But also applying our minds to the teachings as well. So I just wanted to give that little pep talk, as I could call it. Anyway, so this is a time it's usually available for any questions about meditation, specifically about your own meditation experience, rather than like kind of theory or something like that, or what's going on for you in your practice, meditation practice, or any questions you have about what I've said as far as the instructions are concerned. So if you can put a little hand icon up. Did somebody, okay, I see somebody with their hand. And I don't see a name.
It's Laurent.
For me?
Laurent, like French for Lawrence.
Lawrence?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Yeah, please, do you have a question?
Yeah, well, it's physical. My body is getting a little older. I'm reaching 60 years old. My knees are hurting. My feet are hurting. I know I'm still young, just 60 years old, but still. And I'm wondering how to deal with this. When I meditate on the chair, I'm not reaching the same states that when I'm sitting cross-legged. But now when I sit cross-legged, my feet hurts and my body starts hurting. So how can I deal with this? How can I get over this and be able to sit for an hour like I used to without any pain? I just can't do it anymore. So, and it distracts me from my meditation. So I'm wondering if you have any advice for that, please.
Yeah, I can understand the aging issue. And so there's also degree, what degree the pain is. If it's like, if your body is alerting to you, no, this is a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, you should listen to the body if the body's saying, or when you've tried sitting through it, you've hurt yourself, which I've done. and had to rehabilitate my body for, my back and my knees, one knee or another knee over the years. Yeah, so how to learn how to sit in a chair. For me, the chair doesn't work. I have sciatica, so the chair is actually problematic for me. But I know that Bhante, I heard this on a recorded talk by Bhante Sujato, and he was talking about various sitting postures. And he said he actually ruined his knees and was unable to sit for any length of time. For shorter periods of time, he could sit cross-legged. And so he had the same kind of saying that how difficult, much more difficult it is to get the mind settled in the chair, how to keep the deeper states in the chair. One thing, I don't know if you can sit for short periods and cross-legged on a cushion.
Yeah, I can do about 20 minutes now without any issues, but then the issue of the foot gets numb now, and so I have to change. But every time I change position, it distracts me I feel like the 20 minutes that I just worked just goes away and I have to start again. So like even right now, I had to go on my knees. I started in the chair, went cross-legged, and went on the knees. So it was 3 different positions because of the pain. So I'm just confused with that now. And I used to be able to sit for 2 hours, no issues. I mean, I was young.
So, one thing is that really exerting mindfulness while you're changing position is one thing. And another thing, what I found is if I'm doing, could you do walking meditation?
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
So the walking meditation, it says this in the suttas that you're able to maintain the level of samadhi or the deep that you're able to do in walking meditation. So if you start out walking and then go to a seated posture, so for me, it's really helps to get a certain amount of depth. You could walk for an hour back and forth, and then get into a sitting posture. And then the mind is able to maintain that depth from walking to, if you have a sitting path, even I have when I was in a kuti, cabinet, or the Aranyabodhi, the forest hermitage we have. It was raining sometimes, so it was only about 7 steps across the room and back. But I did that. And so then I would do in my room, like not a super slow pace, but just a relatively slow pace, and then sit, and that helped settle my mind. And then you can go from walking to sitting, and then walking again.
Okay.
And then you could go from the walking to the sitting on a chair, or walking to sitting on the floor. But try to bring the awareness that why is the mind being disturbed when you're moving? What is going on? How do I bring this is the sati sampajanya kind of bringing that mindfulness, just carrying the mindfulness through moving from one, even for me too, I can shift my position of my legs and then able to you can start training yourself to be able to do that too. That just like very gently, like if my leg is up on the other calf, the opposite calf, and then moving that very gently down and being able to adjust, but bringing the mindfulness to that I'm doing that. Have a clarity of mind before there's the intention, aware of the intention that the body needs to move, and then bringing the attention to that you're doing that, and then bringing your attention back to your object, but doing it all intentionally instead of, oh, I'm in pain, I just can't sit, like, I don't know what's going on for you, but, like it really like or being aware of the aversion. Oh, there's that aversion there. I don't want to have to move. I don't want to be in pain. Oh, okay. This is what's going on in the mind. I can see that and you can use that even like this is dukkha. It's like,
Please.
oh, this is dukkha I'm experiencing right now. Ah, okay. So instead of it being an enemy, it's like, oh, this is part of the process. This is reality. These bodies age. This is accordance to reality, in accordance to things as they are, that there's aging, there's pain. And so not adding, I mean, it dukkha to dukkha. Seeing the dukkha. So that's a few suggestions you can work with.
It's really helpful. So basically, I'll bring more awareness to the changes of my positioning and trying to stay with the changes instead of like being aversive to it.
Mhm.
I think I will try that definitely, and I'll try meditating and walking meditation before I go on the mat. I'll definitely try all this. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yes. Yeah. You have yeah, I'm not seeing everybody. So did you want to?
Amber.
Okay, so please, yeah, I don't see the name, so just, that's fine. Please,
Hi, is it okay if I share?
yeah, the one with, that you just mentioned, Amber?
Yes.
Amber, yes, please.
Hi. I too have had the same experience with the crossing legs and it being very difficult. So, I found too, I tried to, practice not aversion, just to let it settle and not fight it. But after a while, I started to adapt that the sitting cross-legged, I feel like sometimes I wanted to find a more balanced way to sit. Sometimes it just the pressure points of cross-legged, there was a lot of aches and stuff. So sometimes I'll lay down. Actually in the morning I do a lot of laying meditation, and then sitting on the chair helps on the chair. But if you're sitting on the cushion, if I'm sitting on the cushion, I want to do that meditation on the floor. I found a new position that really helped. So instead of cross-legged, I'll put my legs in front of me and then I'll touch my toes. So I'm sitting up, but my legs are straight in front, and then I touch my toes. So it's almost like a diamond. Like your legs are out and your feet are touching softly and your knees are bent a little bit. So it sort of makes like a diamond shape, I guess, if you're sitting, your legs are in front. And that feels a lot more smooth. And it's very comfortable, actually. So, the chair, maybe you're not getting as much of an experience with the chair, like he mentioned. So yeah, the sitting on the floor with the legs in front and the toes touching feels very soft. It's really helped me a lot. I actually stopped doing the cross-legged and just do laying meditation, chair meditation, and the diamond. One, because I'm not getting the aches. I don't know, it just seems to work to me. So if that's any way helpful. Yeah, it just it feels like the pressure points are off a little bit more. Yeah, and it helps. So thank you.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it depends on the person's body, what works well for them. For me, that sounds like, oh, I don't know how that would be for my back, but so anyway, yeah, so just experiment with what's helpful and what helps with the mind as well. The mind is the biggest issue, I think, we have these bodies and they're problematic. And so how is the mind going to respond to it? And I see Elaine has a hand. Is that the next person in line? Okay.
Hi. Hi. I also am aging and I have the same problem, but I really like being on the cushion. And something that's worked for me is when I'm having a lot of pain, I put a cushion underneath each crossed knee and also extending my belly out further, to get, I think the posture is really important. And I've used that for a bit. And then, as you say, the mind starts going, oh, okay, the feet really aren't aching as much. And the back, oh, okay, the back's better. But I use that if I'm really having problems. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so there is a lot of things you can do with cushions. For me, to put a cushion under the ankle. Yeah, so you have to experiment because everybody has different flexibilities and different tight spots. So there's, I don't is it huh? Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Hi, same topic I wanted to share. I have this small meditation bench sometimes I use. I go through the same like difficulty at times. So I changed from cushion to this one. It's very low. And so it has a curved touching point, so you can tilt, and that I found helpful. So I don't know if that is something very can experiment with. Just wanted to share that.
So like as I'm saying that everybody has their tricks that they're learning, and that we could have a whole workshop on dealing with the body. And as long as we don't have it as an obsession, this is what's really important, is that we don't try to completely avoid pain. I mean, I could take heroin or something like that to avoid all pain. And then I'd have to come slamming back into this horribly painful body. So how do we deal with it? How use our discernment, like I was saying, a wise attention. Is this really pain that I need to move and adjust for, or is it just discomfort? Is it my mind? You know, I could be daydreaming about something and in la la land, and then bring my attention back to my object, and suddenly my knee is like an extreme pain. And like, why didn't I notice it before? It's because my mind is attached onto the knee then and made it into a bigger deal than it actually was. And but I also have had experiences of ignoring pain and then hurting myself. So you have to use discernment. Is it because of boredom, or is it because of the body is really giving us a clear message? But there's always going to be some discomfort. This is the nature of samsara. The mind, the body, there'll be always some kind of dukkha there. And how do we respond to the dukkha? Do we add dukkha to dukkha? So one Zen teacher said, you don't have to suffer the suffering. Yeah, so I don't want to, yeah, it says pain is definitely something we need to be aware of, and it's the wise attention to that. What is actually needed in this situation? Because I'm sorry for interrupting you, but it's just like, it's because everybody does have, and it's wonderful to share, but I just don't want the whole session to be kind of obsessed with how do we avoid the pain in the body. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's in the Zen tradition, they call it a seiza bench, and there probably other names for it. What would you call that?
I don't know. This is my father-in-law made it at home.
Oh, your father. Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, that you could spend lots of money paying for something like that, or to have a kind person, or your own ability to create something like that. So if that's useful,
Because like I was feeling, I was sitting through the pain, and then I was feeling the pain in my leg even while I was sleeping last night. So I thought maybe I should change how I sit today. So I used the bench, and that helped me to not struggle through the pain, but focus my mind on.
yeah. So you're using a balance to balance, like to be able to have the body comfortable enough, but it's never going to be completely without discomfort. And that's my point. So it's good to find things that are supportive, and for each person, like I'm saying. So that's also an alternative. The bench, the kneeling bench, but walking, sitting, lying down. Somebody had mentioned lying down, and standing. And the standing we haven't mentioned, but that takes some strength. When I do walking meditation, sometimes I'll stand for periods of time. And there was this one Thai master, he was just so powerful. He just stood. He stood when we were doing overnight meditations, and he just stood there for alertness, because this is how he kept awake. he stood. So whoa, somebody's asking, what time did this start? This is daylight savings time now. So anyone who's coming in at this time, I'm sorry, we're about to close. I'm sorry if there's anyone that we missed that had a comment or question, but yeah, so the balance between finding what's right for the body, to care for the body, but not get too obsessed by the issue of pain. So just using that discernment to know for yourself. So I think it's about time to end, and I appreciate all your kind attention and all people's suggestions, and may see you this evening. So this afternoon at 1, we have a sutta discussion. So we can end with
I just want to say thank you to every suggestions that was given by everybody. And I just want to say as a little note that I have a bench, I have 3 pillows, I have I have everything so much that I have to stop buying stuff because I was obsessing with all that. So, but thank you. I think the advice of being more aware of the changes will be what I'm taking into this. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay, we'll end with 3 bows. Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddham Bhagavantam Abhivadami Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Thank you all.